Hey, thanks so much for signing up to get this free video training. I really did fill it with some of my top tips on what it takes to be a successful author. So to get the most out of it, I recommend that you clear away the distractions. Really give yourself this time to focus on the new year and the impact that you're going to make and how you're going to get your message out to more and more people. So grab something to write with and take notes with, and let's jump into it. Here we go. Thanks again for watching and listening to this free training. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how to make 2014 your best year ever as an author and a book publisher. It's a new year and a new opportunity to make a great impact with your book, and I hope this video inspires you to do just that. So what are you going to get? Well, I'm going to make things really simple. I'm going to give you 3 steps that will help you attract more readers and book buyers, make more of an impact, and earn more money in the coming year. Interested? Cool. Before we jump into those 3 simple steps, I don't want to make the assumption that you know about me and my background, and so just in case, if you need to know a little bit more about this guy who's giving you these steps to make 2014 your best year ever, basically my first book was published in about 1992 or 93, so I've been a published author for more than 20 years now. Now, 2 of my books were traditionally published, but most of them, and the most profitable ones actually, have been self-published. So I'm a big proponent of DIY, of the independent publishing route. My primary niche for the past couple of decades has been music marketing. And so I have a website called thebuzzfactor.com. I have a whole series of books, the most popular of which are probably the Guerrilla Music Marketing series of books. And I've been online for a long time doing this since like the mid-90s. I've been spreading my message through email and through websites and my own websites and so on. Several years ago, Berklee College of Music in Boston approached me to create an online course for them called Music Marketing 101, which I also taught for 5 years. And one of my books actually appeared in the movie The School of Rock, starring Jack Black. That was kind of a nice perk. So music marketing is sort of my main niche, the main thing that I'm known for. However, for the past several years, I've also had a website called fulltimeauthor.com where I dispense my advice on book publishing and book marketing and so on. I have a book called 55 Ways to Promote and Sell Your Book on the Internet. And I also do online guerrilla book marketing masterclasses. On top of that, I've been on the board of the St. Louis Publishers Association and been its president for a number of years. So I've been mentoring and inspiring authors, in addition to musicians, for quite a long time. And on top of that, I also inspire, I guess, what I call creative entrepreneurs. There are people in all creative fields who could use some inspiration and some demystification of what marketing is. I have a brand new interview series called The Creative Entrepreneur that's both a YouTube video series and an audio podcast on iTunes and Stitcher and other places. Related book to that called The DIY Career Manifesto, a book called Unleash the Artist Within, another podcast called Artist Empowerment Radio, which I've been doing for several years. So in essence, what I do is I help musicians, authors, and creative entrepreneurs take their talents and their know-how and use it to make a living and to make a difference in the world. And within the next few weeks, I will be celebrating 10 years completely supporting myself full-time from my books and related products. So this is not a topic that I've simply been observing. I've actually been living this stuff for many years. And finally, I've been very blessed over the years to have gotten a lot of media exposure on things like NPR and Marketplace and Publishers Weekly, The Guardian over in the UK, a whole lot of music and entertainment magazines and websites as well. So when it comes to being successful as an author and an independent book publisher, I kind of like to think that I know what I'm talking about. And so really I'm going to share with you what I think are some of my top tips on ways that you can truly, literally make 2014 your best year ever as an author or a book publisher. So you're ready? Grab a piece of paper, a notebook, and a pen. Take some notes. Let's dive in. Step number 1 is focus on the mission. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let me ask a question. What's your bigger purpose with your book? And I contend it's much more than just getting a book published and getting that out into the world. Sure, that may be your immediate goal, but I want you to answer the question and really consider, why are you publishing and promoting your book to begin with? And after meeting with hundreds, even thousands of authors over the years and having lived this stuff for a long time, I bet that your mission falls into perhaps one of three categories. One, you may have a mission to educate people. You have some information to impart to them, something that you want them to know. It could be something as simple as home maintenance, or it could be learning a new technology, doing your taxes. If you have learned something that has improved your life, there's a really good chance that helping other people understand the same thing is going to improve their lives too. So that could be your mission, to educate. Another thing, though, is to entertain. Whether it's a book on humor or some kind of genre fiction, whether it's Harry Potter, Hunger Games, whether you're Stephen King or John Grisham or whoever, maybe your mission is to take people on a fantasy, to give them a little bit of an escape, to make them laugh, to make them cry, to make them just forget about their normal lives for a while. And that's worthy too. Or maybe your big purpose, your mission, is to enlighten people, to make them think differently about something, to inspire them. A lot of these fall into the self-help category, but they can fall into other categories as well. Perhaps you can inspire them to be more creative, or to be more loving, or just think about their lives in a more empowering way. And actually, you probably maybe even already realize this, but quite often many books will hit on two or maybe all three of these. You can educate someone while also entertaining them. You can educate people while also inspiring them. Or you can do all three at the same time. And if you do that, you're really firing on all cylinders. But really the bottom line is, how do you want the people who read your book to feel? What is that thing? More informed? More educated? Is it just happy? Enthusiastic? That's what I mean by your mission. So here's the thing, it's not all about the book. I know that sounds funny coming from a guy who makes a full-time living publishing and selling books, but that's what I'm talking about when I say focus on the mission. And here's the little secret. The book is simply an extension of your mission and your message. The book really isn't at the core of all of your activities. If you really want to make the new year stellar, really hone in on what this mission is. So let's take a look at this diagram here. Your mission sits at the center of everything that you do. It's the foundation of everything you do. And again, you've identified what that is, hopefully. Once you know what your mission is, you realize that your book is simply an extension of that. It's one way that you get that message out into the world. It could be classes and workshops that you either give in person or online. It could be the things that you publish on your blog and your website. It could be videos that you create and post on YouTube. That's one way to serve your mission and to spread your message. It could be the email that you send to your fans and your readers. It could be readings that you do at coffee shops or whatever. Interviews in the media, even simple conversations that you have one-on-one with people at a party or at a conference or whatever, is another way that you serve your mission. And it made a huge difference in my career when I started focusing on this. So now I don't get out of bed in the morning and think to myself, well, how can I sell more books today? Or how can I publish a book in such and such a format? And that's a tactical thing. The question I truly ask myself if I'm empowered is, what can I do to inspire more people today? What can I do to give people the tools to market themselves and get their creativity out into the world? And perhaps it is getting a book out. Perhaps it's writing a blog post or a guest blog post for another website. So here's just another little byproduct of focusing on the mission, is that marketing becomes much easier when you focus on the mission instead of just how you can sell more books. Because then you don't have to worry about being boastful and, oh God, I hate selling and blah, 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 all these stories that people tell themselves about marketing. Instead, you focus on this good thing that you have that's going to help people. It's going to educate them. It's going to entertain them. It's going to inspire them in some way that is only uniquely you. Focus on the mission, and a lot of this other stuff will become a lot easier. Step number 2 is to get support and encouragement. Now, I probably don't need to tell you that being a writer and an author is a very solitary activity. The writing takes place on your own, usually by yourself. Even if you're, out at a coffee shop or something, you're still alone at a table, transferring the ideas in your head onto the computer or the piece of paper or whatever it is that you're capturing it with. It can often be quite a lonely existence, which is why you need to get out and get support and encouragement. There are many ways to do that, but one way is to just rub elbows with other writers and authors. I guess it doesn't have to be writers and authors specifically, but you have to get out in a group of people that are positive and uplifting and supportive. Hopefully you're getting that from your family and your loved ones. They're cheering you on and encouraging you to pursue this path. But a lot of people aren't that fortunate to have those supportive people surrounding them. And so whether you do or you don't, it still helps to get out and network and connect with other people who are going to energize you. So there are all sorts of ways that you can do that. You can attend local meetings, go to a site like meetup.com and see what sort of writers or creative groups are meeting locally. You can search the web for your city and author groups or writers groups. Of course, there are conferences all over the country, all over the world that you have to travel to, and so you have to make some arrangements and save up for them and all that good stuff. But you have to get out and swim in an ocean of other people that are doing a similar thing to what you're doing, and you're encouraging each other. There were years where the only other authors that I communicated with were via email. In my hometown of St. Louis, I didn't even know any other authors until I went to a meeting of the St. Louis Publishers Association, and suddenly I was in a room of like 40 people who were on a similar path. And that can energize you. Another way to get some more direct and impactful support and encouragement is either to join or create a mastermind group. You may have heard of this concept before. It's where you get a group of people who meet either in person on a regular basis, whether it's weekly or monthly, twice a month, whatever, or this can be done online too via telephone conference or something. And you each share the journey. You encourage each other. You tell the other people in the group what you're up to, and they give you feedback and encouragement and suggestions. And it sort of holds you accountable. When you know you're going to be talking to these people on a regular basis, you're more likely to actually act on the things that you say you're going to do. And quite often, once you get to know everybody, you start connecting the dots and helping them with connections and resources, and they do the same for you. Well, I've been in mastermind groups, and I love them. So many successful people swear by them, so consider that. And another step up from the mastermind group is to have a specific partner, like an accountability partner that you actually team up with one-on-one and speak to on a regular basis. And again, encourage and gently nudge each other towards success. In fact, this is so powerful that all of the online courses that I've launched in the past year or so have an accountability partner. I actually call them a success partner, but it has that aspect to them where I team up two people taking the class with each other and encourage them to connect 3 to 5 times a week. And it may only be for 15 minutes, but you go over the things that you committed to doing the previous day. You relay your progress or lack of progress, and then you commit to another set of activities for the next day, and they do the same, then reciprocate. It's amazingly powerful when you know you're going to speak to someone the next day, and you've told them that you're going to do X, Y, and Z. Quite often, X, Y, and Z gets done, and you make amazing progress. That's why I also added a private Facebook group and live conference calls where we interact. This whole support and live interaction and engagement with people is just crucial. If you add this to your life in 2014, I guarantee you're going to make a ton of progress. Step number 3 is to practice the rule of 3. That sounds mysterious. Why the rule of 3? Well, the number 3 is an incredibly powerful number. I mean, just think how often it occurs in our culture. There's the 3 little pigs. There's the 3 stooges. The 3 tenors. Yes, even Goldilocks and the 3 bears. There's something about that number that resonates with people. I love the number 3 because it's big enough to wrap your brain around it and have some meat to it, but it's small enough that it doesn't confuse you. So here's what I'm talking about, the rule of 3. It's all about simplification and simplifying your life. We're all overwhelmed. So I recommend that you have 3 main priorities every year, every month, every week, and every day. And I'm telling you, when I've done this with my own career as an author, I have made massive progress. So as you look ahead to 2014, what are 3 priorities that you can commit to focusing on for the year? And they don't all have to be book related, but one of them might be to get your book published and into print by April or by a certain date of the year. So you can choose how many of these 3 things are related specifically to your book, but have sort of a big picture. Just limit your big goals for the year to 3 things. And then each month, ask yourself, what are 3 priorities that you can have in the month related perhaps to those 3 things that you've chosen for the year? Then break it further down. What are your priorities this week? You know, if every Monday morning you told yourself, these are the 3 main things that I have to accomplish this week, and you truly stayed focused on them and didn't overwhelm yourself with a list of 20 or 40 or 50 things that you had to do, you might actually get stuff done. And then even down to the day, have 3, not big things, but 3 small, doable things that you commit to doing by the time you go to bed that night. Now, of course, we all have more than 3 things that we have to do every day, but when you focus on what your 3 priorities are for the year, for the month, for the week, or the day, things that you won't go to bed that night until they've actually gotten done, most of the time, you will make huge progress. And that's another thing I've added to all of the online courses that I've created, is a worksheet where I ask you to choose 3 things every day, 3 small steps toward your book publishing and book promotion and book sales goals that you will do that day. And when you combine that with talking to a success partner and rubbing elbows with other people on this journey and with focusing on your mission, you will make great strides with your book, I promise you. In fact, if you're interested in taking a deeper dive into your success as an author in 2014, the next module in my Guerrilla Book Marketing Masterclass series actually starts on Monday, January 6th. This module will focus on internet book marketing and social media for authors. And so if you want to get better at promoting your book on the internet, which has actually been my primary vehicle for spreading the word about my books and my message, if you want to demystify this whole process and break through the overwhelm, I hope you'll at least take a look at what the course is all about and consider signing up. In fact, if you click the link below this video, it'll take you to a page with all the details, with information on the dates and the topics that we'll cover and how the class works, all that good stuff. So I encourage you to click that right now. Take a look at it. If it speaks to you, I would love to be able to interact with you and all the other students taking the course. Again, it starts on January 6th, so please don't delay. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at bob@bob-baker.com, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can with an answer. But all the questions are really on that page. Thanks so much for watching this free video training, and whether or not you take the class that starts on January 6th, I wish you the best. I hope you got some nuggets of information out of here that you can use for your own author career, but at least I hope you do click the link and learn some of the details about this Guerrilla Book Marketing Masterclass. It's all about online marketing, as I mentioned, and it starts January 6th, so click that link and check it out. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I kind of used some of my own advice in this video. Perhaps you noticed there were 3 steps overall in this video, the rule of 3, and also within the mission thing, I broke it down into educate, entertain, and enlighten. 3 key steps. So this all ties together, see? All right, that's it for now. Check out the class. Put these things that you learned by watching the video to good use in your career now and in the new year. I wish you well. Take care. This is Bob Baker saying so long for now.